Hi, Year 11. Okay, so lesson 7, going through the answers with you and give you some instructions for lesson 8 in a second. So I've got my notes in front of me here. Number 1, before I actually give you the answer, make sure that you always pause the video when you need to, go back to your previous work, check your answers, make sure you got things right, make any changes necessary. So the population of Cardiff grew rapidly during the 19th century. So in here you should have had the 19th. Cardiff became Wales's largest town, or biggest town, whatever you said there. Okay. Number 3, Cardiff's rapid growth was due to a combination of factors: the Taff Railway, the docks. Okay, so in here you needed Taff and docks. Living conditions in rapidly expanding town were squalid due to poor quality housing, overcrowding, lack of clean water, open sewers, and no collection of refuse. Okay, so 3 words here: housing, water, and sewers. Okay. Number 5, outbreaks of disease were common, especially cholera and typhoid. Cholera and typhoid. Those were the 2 main diseases of the industrial period, and we've mentioned those many times, so hopefully you got those. Cardiff experienced 4 outbreaks of cholera in 1849, 1854, 1866, and I'm going to say 1893. Let me just check that. Yes, 1893. Okay. Number 7, the government passed legislation which aimed at improving living conditions, the Public Baths and Washhouses Act. So if you watched the video last lesson, that showed you a wash house from 1959, and things hadn't really changed too much really from the 19th century. So make sure you watch that video if you haven't done so already. The Public Health Act and the Sanitary Act. Sanitary Act, just checking that. Okay, so 3 words here: wash, health, sanitary. Obviously there, number 8, I didn't have a blank. Sorry about that. Dr. Henry James Payne was appointed Medical Officer of Health for Cardiff. The Cardiff Infirmary, that was the name of the hospital, was opened in 1837. The next one, the Cardiff, I'm going to say Bath, let me just check my notes. Yeah, the Cardiff Bath Company opened a public swimming pool in 1862. Cardiff Corporation carried out improvements, opening parks, a new, let me check my notes, cemetery, a public library, and other things, collection of refuse to make things better. There were improvements in public health, which was evidenced by the decline in deaths when there was a cholera outbreak. So that's the cholera outbreak, I think, in 1893. Okay, very few deaths considering the size of the population then. All right. So for lesson 8, some exam practice. Now I'm doing this recording now on a day when we're going to have an announcement about the exams, I think. Okay. No matter what that announcement is, whether exams are going ahead or whether they're cancelled, you will still have to be assessed in some way, I imagine. So even though you might be thinking, oh, exams are cancelled, brilliant, I will still be expected to collect data on you in order to give you some sort of grade. Okay. Now at the minute, obviously don't know which way things are going to go. All right. Exams could still go ahead as far as I know right now when I'm recording this. So it's a question 5 example, which is an explain question, 12 marks. Explain why public health had improved in industrial towns like Cardiff by the end of the 19th century. Here's the mark scheme examiners would use. So they give you just 2 marks for your knowledge. Now that's not to say your knowledge can be kind of like very vague and very limited. You still need good knowledge there, but they're more interested in these things. Explanation, okay? So look at the success criteria to help you. Obviously, as we said, good knowledge, okay? But you must have words like this in your answer. If you just want to keep on using the word because, okay, fair enough. That's the best explaining word to use, but try to use a range. This led to, as a result, therefore. If you use these words, you cannot help but explain. Analysis. Don't forget these questions to answer in your work. Okay, so for example, the Public Health Act of 1848 did cause change, but I'd say only to a fair extent because it didn't force cities to do things, did it? It gave them responsibility, it didn't force them. All right, so it only affected, say, some lives across the country. All right. Judgments. What were the most significant changes? Put your answer in the box below. Sorry that I've run out of time.